Well, guys, this is going to be a wild one. It's so wild how much Trump and MAGA love to claim that the Democrats are divisive, that they sow division, and they're responsible for the schisms and fractures between Americans that we see so blatantly today. All this division, right? They love to claim the Democrats are at fault for it, because the Democrats do tend to be pretty unrelenting in their call-outs of Republicans and what they're willing to look past and, defend. The conservative movement is inherently immoral, and saying it like it is very offensive to conservatives. They really think that you're nasty and mean if you don't pretend like they're not evil, right? Or at least, not that they're not evil, that what they're advocating for is evil. Like, you have to pretend it's not. And so, your average conservative is very much, they believe this idea. MAGA claims it constantly. And yet, Donald Trump, who supposedly has the mandate of the people to do whatever he wants because of his overwhelming victory, not overwhelming, it's not that big of a W. Nonetheless, the conservatives see it as such a big W, and that Trump has so much overwhelming support that nobody is standing against him. They've even been claiming that the left isn't even real, and that it's all just deep state paid actors or whatever. And despite that, Donald Trump has had, I believe, the most assassination attempts of any president. Obviously, there's the classic one we all know where he got shot in the ear. God, so close. God. Good Lord. That was a close one. Not gonna lie. Like, that one grazed him. Okay, that was a near miss. Get it? Near? Cause ear? Near miss. Yeah, I wouldn't say he had stormtrooper aim, dude. I mean, he was a decent enough shot, I guess, but fuck, I mean, that was a near miss. I'm trying to put emphasis on my pun about the ear, okay? Come on, guys, I need you to affirmate my pun. My pun was good, okay? He has had a lot of attempted assassinations, right? So clearly people aren't so thrilled about him, all right? He loves to talk about how much people love him, but there's also people out there trying to kill him. And they're not, as much as he might try to claim, they're not like paid, I don't know, like assassins by the deep state or whatever. They're just people who didn't like him. And funnily enough, the majority of these cases have been done by conservatives. And the crazy thing is, it just happened again. About 10 days ago, a young man was arrested after killing his parents by the FBI. Because apparently he was planning to attempt an assassination on Donald Trump after he killed his parents, mind you. And so he gets arrested. It's big news. Everyone's talking about how this crazy kid who murdered his parents wanted to also murder Trump. Everyone's talking about that, but it dies down, right? Not a lot of people are discussing it anymore. It's old news now. It's like, what, the 4th, 5th, 6th attempt on Trump's life? Or almost attempt on Trump's life? It was an attempt at an attempt on Trump's life, right? And so, people stopped talking about it, but then the FBI, despite their abominable leadership currently, did a bit more investigating. They did a bit more research. They learned more about the guy, and they found out through a manifesto he'd apparently written that his plan through killing Donald Trump was to start a race war that would to first topple the government and cause so much political turmoil it would cause a race war and civil war that would fracture America. Like, that was literally his goal, was to use Trump as a sacrificial lamb to start a race war. And so after this was found out, people have started talking about it like crazy, because this was not a case of like some crazy lefty trying to take out Trump because they don't like him. It was a crazy conservative trying to use Trump as a sacrificial lamb to rally other crazy conservatives into participating in a full-scale race war to, I guess, avenge their Lord and Savior Donald Trump. I love that there's this nonstop implication that these people would wage war against their fellow Americans to the death if it meant avenging Trump's life. You know what I mean? Like, these people are literally cultists. But that aside, we all know this. Let's learn about this plot that this teenager had to overthrow the government and kill Donald Trump. This kid was unbelievably crazy, so I doubt any of it will make sense, but I haven't looked into any of this. I just know the basic, headline points, right? So I want to learn the nitty-gritty details. Let's find out what's going on.
We have another act of political violence to talk about, and unfortunately this one did claim lives, although not as many as was intended. A Wisconsin teenager was charged with killing his parents and had been planning a...
Why does Trump look like Denethor when he's eating the tomatoes in this picture? He's been eating tomatoes.
A Wisconsin teenager was charged with killing his parents and had been planning, apparently, to assassinate President Donald Trump as part of a plot to overthrow the government. And if that's all you find out about this, it's already a tragedy. The fact that 2 people have died, the fact that a child kills their parents is already, it's sick, it's disgusting, it's twisted. And he wants to take out Trump. And so this is where the right will jump in and be like, see, they have Trump derangement syndrome. They want to take out Trump. And there are people that are deranged in America, and they do want to take out Trump. And you know what connects all of them seemingly? They're not libs. They're not libs, or at least all the evidence we've had about all of them is that they're not, because he apparently wanted to save the white race. He wanted to do all of this to obtain the financial means and autonomy necessary to carry out his plans to take out Trump, to destabilize the U.S. government, not to, like, put the Dems back in charge, but to save the white race. He apparently...
It's so wild how every time, like, there's political radicalism, don't get me wrong. Like, there are people who are full-throated genocide supporters, but they would never have the balls or the lack of sanity or self-preservation to go out and try and start it themselves. We really are talking about the craziest of the crazy that try to do stuff like this. Violent, insane, unstable people who are dangerous. And the kind of things that politically those people believe oftentimes are just as unhinged as them. This guy might have been, and honestly, I don't know anything about him, but if I were to take a wild guess, I would say this guy was probably simultaneously a white supremacist, super pro-gay, super anti-nuclear power, but also super pro-green energy, while also being super pro-legal immigration, but also very anti-outsourcing, but while also being super pro-Americans working overseas. Like, there's no doubt someone like this has political opinions that flop across the political spectrum depending on the issue so much, because nothing they believe or think or the way they see the world makes any sense. This is so common with these types of people who end up doing a violent attack and they post a manifesto. Usually it's a very crazy screed of, like, white supremacy and Nazi talking points. Like, that's always there. But there's also always a mix of, like, weird eco-fascist or, like, oddly pro-LGBT or, like, they're a furry or something. There's always something odd mixed in there, because when it comes to these violent attackers, they're just not mentally stable people. And mentally stable people don't have politics that makes sense. It's not that they're wrong. They are, but it's that their politics don't even make sense.
Had a 3-page anti-Semitic manifesto that praised Adolf Hitler. Hey, maybe he could go work at X after this or something. Had bomb-making instructions. They found messages in Russian and communications on TikTok and Telegram in which he detailed a plot to kill his parents as well as to proclaim his allegiance to neo-Nazi, racially motivated extremist groups.
Dude, imagine this was like some Russian paid, like, assassin. Like, Putin is, like, getting Trump to wipe his ass on one side while also trying to get Trump, like, assassinated by a Russian assassin on the other. Like, Putin's just betraying Trump. Dude, imagine that's what's going on. I wouldn't put it past him. Putin's a, like, conniving bastard. He's not trustworthy. Trump is not smart to trust Putin by any means. Putin just wants whatever he can get for himself out of Trump. They don't have any, like, Putin does not want mutual gain for Trump and himself.
White House didn't have anything to say about this, and they, of course, wouldn't unless it turned out that this person was non-binary or something. But they're not. They're just yet another right-winger who decided the real way to draw attention to my plot is to take out Trump. And so, like, by the time something hits 3, that's a pattern that everybody is supposed to be able to identify, but I have no doubt that we're going to get past this one without recognizing that once again we have more political violence, and yet again it's a right-winger apparently doing it. What do you think?
Come on, John, stop it. Obviously, this is some lefty that was a right-winger. He's been planning it his entire life, by the way. His entire existence and background that you'll look into, it was all a plot just to come to this very moment to act like a right-winger when he's actually a left-winger trying to kill Donald Trump so he can make the right look bad. Forget the.
You got to remember, though, conveniently, this revelation came, like, what, a week after this story stopped being super relevant in the news cycle? So not a lot of people are going to end up hearing this particular detail. They're just going to think, another crazy lefty trying to take out Trump. This is TYT. Yeah, TYT has really fallen off, but there are still some parts of TYT, or I should say affiliates of TYT, that are reasonable. And the Damage Report is very much still one of the, like, shows they have going or that they're affiliated with that's still pretty solid. I've yet to see anything too bad coming out of the Damage Report. It seems very dedicated to just calling out the insanity of Trump and the Republicans. You know, just a very, yeah, he's ex-TYT. I mean, the TYT logo is right there on the top right. I'm just covering it up right now, see? He's still got the logo there.
The fact that a few thousand ran up on the Capitol and said things like, hang Mike Pence, or had zip ties and hammers and guns ready to murder anyone else that they come across. Forget all that. This is some left-winger trying to make right-wingers look bad. I guarantee you, 15, 20% of people who are defending it have said that. I guarantee you. It's how it works.
I don't want to bet any money on that because I have a feeling it's going to turn out to be true. Now, thankfully, they did stop this guy, and he didn't do it because I don't actually want any political violence. I know that's now a minority position in the media and in our political system, but I don't want any of it.
Oh, wow.
And I would really
I mean, I get what he's doing, but that, come on, no. Nobody likes political violence when you say it's political violence. They only like it when it's all memes and stuff, when political violence happens to somebody that one side doesn't like, right? You know, like Paul and Nancy Pelosi, right? The right can never claim they're anti-political violence or they take these issues seriously after the Paul and Nancy Pelosi thing. Never forget that shit. Never forget what they did with that story. Never let them get away with it.
Love if the right would start to take stock of whatever it is that they're doing is causing their side to continue to lash out, not only against Democratic politicians like we saw with Josh Shapiro, but repeatedly against their own. For your own self-preservation, do some self-reflection, moderate your message a little bit, because one of these guys could succeed someday in taking out Donald Trump. One of your own could take out your God Emperor, the guy you worship more than democracy itself. Stop that from happening by being a little responsible.
I really would think it'd be just hysterical if not a single progressive-leaning person ends up trying to, like, fuck with Donald Trump. You know, it's just all conservatives. It's only been right-wing people so far, I think. Like, right-wing people and those that just had, like, insane, like, terroristic motivations about hating America as a whole, regardless of who's running it. So, like, man, it really makes you wonder. Like, do you think not a single progressive ever does anything to try and, like, fuck with Donald Trump in that way? I feel like most progressives are well-adjusted enough, or even if they're not, they're too cowardly to do anything, you know? I really doubt that any left-winger is going to try and, like, do anything to Trump. I'd be willing to put money on that. No left-winger is going to try to do anything to Trump. There's a good chance the kid wasn't working alone. The FBI will find whoever he was working with, right? They'll get him. I'm pretty sure they will. Feel bad that he killed his parents, though. It's very, very tragic thing that they couldn't stop him from doing that. Wasn't a very smart person, clearly. You know, he seemed to believe that he could kill his parents, get away with that, and then proceed to try and kill the president. Like, this is not a smart person by any means. Obviously, he was a teenager, but on top of that, it's very clear that like he wasn't working with a full toolbox, right? Like wasn't thinking things out. His mindset was not, it didn't line up with reality and what makes sense, what's possible to actually do. It just goes to show that people who do these kind of things are just not well-adjusted, reasonable, rational people. Regardless, though, if you watched this far and you want to let me know that you did, you can comment down below when this goes up as a video, just to let me know you saw all the way to the end. Comment down below. What should we comment? Race war averted. Comment that. Like, comment few. Race war averted. With a little exclamation point at the end. You know, we're just, thank God, guys. Race war has been averted. Let's go. Yeah, I feel like that would be a good one. Go ahead and comment that down below if you watched all the way to the end. It helps the channel a lot when you comment. And of course, if you want to support me and you want to show your support, make sure to drop a like as well. Every single thumbs up goes a long way to boost the channel substantially in the algorithm. It means the world. Thank you, thank you. And of course, if you want to see more from me in the future, be sure to follow my social medias, subscribe, ring the bell icon to turn on all notifications so YouTube actually tells you when I upload new stuff in the future. And of course, if you want to support me directly, financially, help me keep the lights on and a roof above my head here at the Xander Hall Studio, then please consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or support me through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, Patreon, or buy some custom Xander Hall merch through the Streamlabs link down below in the description. Regardless of how you support me though, thank you so much for watching as always, and have a good one.